From the time I was born, I was molded by my parents, my brother, the multitude of childhood friends that I had from the neighborhood, and upon the advent of cable television in the mid-'80s, the idiot box as well. Eventually I became old enough to attend school. I don't remember much about kindergarten, but I definitely recall the intense desire to attend school. I wanted to learn. First and second grade are a little less vague in my memory, but what stands out the most is my second grade teacher, Mrs. Murphy. She made everything fun. Plus, when she laughed, she would snort like Miss Piggy. Near the end of that school year, my parents got divorced. That sucked. I was not able to recognize it at the time, but the event really messed me up. I found myself quite alone. I painstakingly rebuilt myself, but was ultimately flawed as I had very few positive influences or social training. Multiple moves and school changes led me to become the perpetual new kid, and I was ultimately labeled as an outcast. Then puberty hit, and life got worse, especially when the mental disorder erupted and scrambled my brains. During my high school years, I had to fight against myself for my own sanity at home, while fighting against the majority of the population at school for my own safety. To make matters worse, almost all of the teachers ignored what was happening to me, turned the other way, and failed to create a safe environment in either the classrooms or the halls. There was one teacher in particular named Mr. Christensen. He was a coach, so he perceived me as weak and useless. He made my life hell. I couldn't help but think how bad a teacher he was because he never answered any of my questions or effectively taught me anything. I also thought how horrible a person he was for how he treated me personally. During my junior year, I was expelled from that school as I had evolved into a beast because of my environment. I transferred to New Campus, an alternative education facility for students dealing with behavioral and emotional impairments. That's where I encountered Chris Wendland. She took the time to get to know me, acknowledged my intelligence and capabilities, and helped guide me in a more productive direction. She was the first person in many years, other than my mother, who treated me like a human being. In 1998, I graduated from high school, grateful for the support and knowledge imparted unto me by Chris. I felt a great sense of accomplishment. Sadly, that didn't last long. I had finally survived high school and was not ready to begin college. I needed a break, a hiatus, a sabbatical. Unfortunately, I ended up getting involved with the wrong crowd, resulting in hijinks, illegal activities, and other less than favorable activities. After a close encounter of the kind, I saw the error of my ways and started to act right, starting with segregating myself from the negative influences. Life went on, and I had led a relatively sedentary existence. When I turned 24, I realized my life was severely lacking. It was the lamest birthday ever. The next day, I decided to go to college. I knew I wanted to further my education, but I had no clue what path to take. I spent an entire day pondering this decision until I had a revelation. In my mind, everything that I had faced up to that point and so many other esoteric factors from my life, I was meant to be a teacher. I knew that I could reach out to students. I knew that I could help some of them. I knew that with my experience, my knowledge, and my empathy, I would be able to prevent many students from going down paths that I had taken and avoid ending up in far worse situations, such as incarceration, the gutter, or death. One of the biggest things I know I can do is to provide a safe environment for everybody within my classroom so that all students can feel comfortable, resulting in their odds of learning and succeeding exponentially higher.